Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. You don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about, does following the ritual work? Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
Because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and you know, black folk, because you know, you get super talented people at a discounted rate.
Real deal is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations.
Katt Williams been trying to tell us, Hollywood don't mess with the real ones. It's the fake grins, the sellouts, the puppets that get pushed to the front. But if you stand on principles, if you stay solid, they treat you like you never existed. That's exactly what Katt was hinting at when he brought up 90s icon Larenz Tate. Yeah, that Larenz, the one who made waves in Menace to Society. The same brother who had the ladies swooning in Love Jones, and who kept showing up delivering nothing but pure black excellence every time he hit the screen. But just like that, poof, he was gone. No mugshots, no rehab scandals, no Twitter rants, just gone.
Back when Larenz Tate was a sitcom kid, he did have a lot of shows that didn't last. And I'm pretty sure at one point he felt like his career was not going in the direction it should. See, this is a testament that what is for you, and things happen in divine time.
Hollywood stopped calling. So what really went down? Katt didn't drop names, but he left enough crumbs to piece it together. The whispers say Larenz wasn't about that backdoor lifestyle that some actors say yes to just to stay booked. You know the type, those exclusive invites, strange rituals, fake friendships, and quiet trades made behind closed doors. That part of Hollywood where if you don't play the game, you don't get to stay.
Like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully.
Larenz wasn't with it. He didn't fold. And when you don't let the industry control you, they hit the delete button. Suddenly, the man who was everywhere in the 90s just faded out. But what exactly did he say no to? What was the price of staying real? Because while others were cashing in, he was getting locked out. And here's the real question. How does an industry that claims to love diversity, that throws awards at the representation buzzword, turn around and quietly cancel one of the coldest, most talented black actors of his generation? Back in the day, Larenz Tate was the moment. You couldn't escape him. So what did they really want from him that he refused to give? Larenz Tate owned every role he touched, period. In Menace to Society, he snapped as that wild OG with nothing to lose. Then he hit us with a whole different vibe in Dead Presidents, bringing raw emotion as a war vet who came back broken and ended up robbing banks just to survive. And when Love Jones dropped, game over. Women were hooked. Darius Lovehall had the ladies dreaming, and Larenz played that role so smooth, it was like poetry in motion. He wasn't just another Hollywood dude. Larenz was our guy. The culture crowned him. Men looked up to him, women loved him, and everybody respected him. He never embarrassed himself or the community. No viral stunts, no messy moments, just straight class and pure talent.
That's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about, does following the ritual work? Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
He stayed in his lane, minding his business, putting in work, and delivering hits. No scandals, no chasing clout, no headlines about drama. But then, out of nowhere, silence. One day he was the rising star, and the next, it felt like someone hit the mute button on his whole career. And that's what makes it so suspicious. Usually when a celeb fades out, there's some kind of meltdown. A messy breakup, wild behavior, court drama, rehab, something to explain the fall. But with Larenz, nothing. No crash out, no mugshot, not even a tweet out of pocket. He just slowly disappeared from the big screen like someone pulled the plug on purpose.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the...
Yeah, he still pops up here and there in smaller roles, but that top-tier spotlight he earned never came back. So what really happened? Well, the whispers are getting louder now. Katt Williams might have been doing more than venting. He might have been dropping facts. Word is, Larenz started turning down roles that felt disrespectful, shady, or straight-up stereotypical. And in this town, if you say no to the wrong script, the wrong handshake, the wrong circle, you get gone. Yep, even those roles where they wanted him to throw on a dress and act like a clown. Larenz wasn't going for it. He was about telling real stories, not being the joke in somebody else's script. He didn't want to be another prop in a storyline that didn't respect his craft or his culture. But in Hollywood, you say no too many times, they stop ringing your line, straight up. And let's be real, this industry never really had love for confident, clean-cut black men who know their value and ain't begging for seats at anybody's table. That kind of self-respect, it makes them uncomfortable. Hollywood got a cap on how many strong, solid black men they'll let shine at once. They'll hand one the Oscar, dress him up with praise, put him front row. But best believe, behind that curtain, they're pushing the rest into roles that scream struggle, crime, or comic relief. They want sidekicks. They want stereotypes. They want silence. And the wildest part? They keep dropping bags on the same tired scripts. Pain, poverty, prison, rinse and repeat. Why? Because like Spike Lee said, that's the formula that keeps them comfy. It makes money without shaking the system. But a black man who stands tall refuses to sell out and says, nah, I won't play that. Oh yeah, he's a threat. That's the kind of man the next generation might actually look up to. That's the kind of voice that can't be bought, and they can't risk that. So yeah, they'll lift up one Denzel. But even Denzel had to walk that tightrope. Be perfect, be polished, never slip. Larenz Tate didn't fall off because he lacked talent. He got iced out because he didn't play Hollywood's dirty game. He refused to be their puppet. And that right there, that's the same truth Katt Williams been screaming for years. Folks laughed, called him crazy, said he was bitter. But now, people are doubling back like, wait, maybe he was telling the truth all along. Hold up, Katt was right. And maybe that's exactly why they've been trying to shut him down from the jump.
Is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations to say, hey, you guys have a great story. Y'all want to tell it and there's money to be made. Come here. So when we do find those places, everybody's trying to go through one keyhole. Everybody's trying to go through one tunnel. And even when you go to non-black-owned places, they'll tell you to go over there because they have to find value in what we do. And that's changing quite a bit as we're making it.
When he said, who gonna turn down 50? I did. That hit different. That wasn't just a flex. That was a warning. Katt's been saying for years that Hollywood don't just hand out fame. They test you first. And it ain't just about the dress, like folks love to focus on. It's way deeper than that. Katt broke it down. Those so-called roles ain't just acting challenges, they're humiliation drills. It's all about control. They want to see who's willing to cross their own lines just to get through the next door. And once you do, once you give in to something that messes with your soul, they got you forever. But Katt didn't stop there. He took it spiritual. He started connecting the dots between these industry rituals and some dark stuff behind the scenes. We're talking whispers about elite circles, shady secret clubs, and even rumors of sacrifices and devil worship floating around the top floors of the entertainment tower. According to Katt, this industry ain't just shady. It's straight-up dark arts energy. And now, when you look at Larenz Tate, it all lines up. This man had everything: talent, charm, respect, and a clean rep. But he never made that last leap, not because he wasn't good enough, but because he refused to cross that line.
Historically, Hollywood has always taught us we don't translate overseas or worldwide.
Right.
But when you start traveling and you go everywhere and you can't walk down the street, you then know that there's been somebody telling you something all along that's wrong. And my true belief as to why they do it is because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk, because you get super talented people at a discounted rate. You get a Hollywood likes to get really talented black folks and get them at a discounted rate. Only, certain superstars that can hit that level that they would feel like they would put a machine behind. But the truth of the matter is we do translate because we're humans just like everyone else.
He didn't want the fame that bad, and that says everything. He's even hinted in interviews. He didn't get dropped, he dipped. Larenz chose peace over pressure, integrity over income, and walked away from the machine that wanted to turn him into a puppet. He didn't crash out, he escaped. And now folks are finally starting to realize maybe Katt Williams wasn't ranting. Maybe he was exposing the playbook. But here's where things get real messy. Larenz didn't just walk away from the game, he started talking. And what he said? It made the industry very uncomfortable. He started calling out the stuff most black actors stay silent on, scared it'll cost them their next check. He didn't hold back. He exposed the pay gap that's still running deep in Hollywood. All that diversity, equity, and inclusion talk they love to parade around? Larenz said it's all for show. Because when the numbers hit the table, black actors still get paid less, even when they bring the same talent, the same box office pull, and the same fan loyalty. And that's the truth they don't want out there. Hollywood expects black actors to smile, play along, and act thankful for scraps. Don't ask questions. Don't compare checks. Don't speak on justice. But Larenz? He pulled the curtain back and said what it really is. Unequal pay ain't about skill, it's about control. And the moment a black actor demands more, boom, they get labeled difficult, entitled, or a problem. Look at what happened to Taraji P. Henson. Soon as she asked for what she earned, she got iced out. Monique? Same thing. The second she stood 10 toes down and said, "I deserve better," they came for her hard. Meanwhile, white actors fight for raises and get celebrated as bold and brilliant for knowing their worth. But Larenz didn't stop there. He said something even heavier. Just putting black faces in lead roles isn't progress if it's all surface level. Representation without respect is just performance. He wanted real opportunity, real ownership, real power. And Hollywood? They hate when somebody sees through the smoke and dares to say it out loud. That kind of truth shakes the whole table. And trust, the system don't like to be questioned, especially by someone they couldn't buy out, break down, or box in. It ain't just about who's on the screen. It's about who's behind it, who's in those back rooms calling the shots, who gets to decide which stories shine and which ones get buried deep. As long as that power stays locked in the same tight circle, nothing changes. Just a new face on the same old game. Representation without real control? That's just a dressed-up lie in a Hollywood frame. And Larenz Tate? He refused to play that role. He never sold out. He never flipped on his values just to get ahead. That's why they erased him from the spotlight. On purpose. He didn't play the game. He didn't kiss up. He didn't swap his pride for paychecks. And the price for staying true? They slammed the door in his face. Big deals disappeared. Studio calls stopped. Media coverage went ghost. Not because he wasn't good anymore, but because he wouldn't let the system own him. This wasn't a fall from grace. It was a silent takedown. They didn't cancel him publicly because there was nothing to drag. No scandals, no drama, no breakdowns. Just a clean man with too much power to manipulate. And that scared them. So they chose silence, erasure. They thought if they ignored him long enough, we'd all forget. But truth don't stay buried. Not forever. And now that Katt Williams is name-dropping Larenz, that means the silence is cracking. Katt doesn't call folks out unless there's something real behind it. If he's mentioning Larenz by name, then something major is bubbling up, and the industry is getting nervous. Because no matter how hard they try to bury the truth, the real ones always rise back up. Larenz Tate didn't fall off. He broke out. He stepped away from the fake lights, the backroom games, and all that shady business. And now, the truth is starting to leak, and people are finally paying attention. So tell me, what do you think really went down with Larenz Tate? Why did Hollywood turn its back on a legend like him? Was it because he stayed too solid in a game built on selling out? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. Smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear what's really going on, and make sure you hit that subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. This story ain't over. I'll catch you on the next one.